Eh,
I don't.
Guys, I have to apologize. This is Zoom. I cannot use it for more than 40 minutes.
Oh, no worries. That's fine.
Oh, please. Yeah, I think the students are coming. That
It's okay.
is, so please, guys, again, uh, I cannot use Zoom for more than 40 minutes. If you are, oh, wait, let me try to, okay. So, if you have any questions, guys, please, I think Ferial and James are really ready just to hear you. So please, guys, if you have something to say, do not hesitate. Please speak up. I think Jabour wants to say something. Hmm. You unmuted yourself and then you muted yourself. Okay. Frial, James, have you been to Lebanon before?
I was born and raised in Lebanon, so I was in Lebanon until I was 18. James and I came to Lebanon this summer, actually. We spent 2 weeks in Lebanon.
Amazing. Okay, exactly. Where did you go, Frial,
Everywhere.
James?
James, why
Open
don't
your
you,
videos, mommy.
why don't you tell them, James, where you went?
Well, kind of everywhere. Spent less time in Beirut this trip. We spent a lot of time in the mountains, a lot of time by the coast. This was my second time in Lebanon. I actually went back in 2015, I believe, before Ferial and I met. So yeah, I was familiar with the country before we met, which certainly helped me a little bit. But yeah, I went a few years back. Just um, I was living in London at the time, so the flight was relatively close, and I'm a big history fan. So obviously the history in the region, going out to places like Baalbek and some of the towns in parts of Lebanon, which are some of the oldest in the world, was fascinating. Um, and then yeah, this summer we we had a very busy 2 weeks, seeing family, friends, and driving all over the country.
Mhm.
You said family, Ferial. Is your family living here in Lebanon?
Yeah, all of them are.
How many years did you live here in this place? I mean, in Lebanon?
So I lived in Lebanon until I was 18, and then I moved to the US.
Can I ask you something, Ferial, James?
Hmm.
Okay, I think sometimes, especially if a certain wife or a husband, if they have different cultures, I think that there is a certain clash between cultures, traditions. I don't know if you get over of this problem, or maybe you didn't have this problem. Can I know how did you overcome this?
That's a good question. Um, I think obviously people growing up in different places and having their own experiences in life, like they have their own like perspectives on things, which doesn't always align just because of past experiences. I think James and I like related on so much more, and we agreed on like so many different levels than like the cultures that we grew up in. But also I would say like our cultures that we grew up in are quite similar in the sense that we both really value
Uh-huh.
like
Amazing.
family. We both value like you know like respect and good treatment of one another, and making sure we value that. So there were so many things that like we like agreed on. And obviously with like people, even people from the same culture, the same country, like they're gonna have different opinions and perspectives. um I don't know, James, what do you think?
Uh, yeah, I never really had to think too much about it. I don't think there's we clash all the time. Don't get me wrong, but not over background or cultural clashes. It's um again, I'm coming from London, which is one of the most multicultural places in the world. where it's just normal. It's most of my friends, or at least a lot of them, have partners who are from all over the world. Um, so you have just as much chance of meeting an English person if you're living in somewhere like London, that you do meeting an Indian person, an Egyptian person, a Brazilian person. So I don't think we've ever really. It's not really been much of an issue, and it's, at least for me, it's interesting. It's nice getting.
Yeah, yes, it
It's
is.
nice having another aspects on things, becoming familiar with another part of the world. Lebanese food, especially Rima's, is something I will never get bored of. So that's a nice part.
Okay.
So I think, James, that you have tasted the Lebanese food, the tabbouleh.
Yes, I make for him
Yeah.
many receipts.
Rima,
Yeah,
holy God.
yes,
I think you like the food, James.
Tayeb.
Yeah. Are you a professional cook, Rima?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, I am.
Yeah, okay, thanks God. Okay. Okay. So please, guys, again, I don't want to talk and just take all the time. If you have anything to say, please, guys, speak up. Natalie, Nisreen, Niveen, Raqiya, Sonia, where are you? Jawahir, Mahdi, please, guys.
James,
Ibrahim,
have you been in London when Diana died?
No, I was. Well, that was not. I was 6 years old when she died. So I I grew up in a place called Dorset, which is at the very bottom of the country, about 100 miles south of London. So quite quiet countryside. Um, so yeah, I didn't move to London until I was
I haven't seen
18,
Diana
college.
before.
Yeah, so I moved to London in 2009.
Mhm. What do you think about Diana life or the Diana uh, dead? Do you agree with the view that said the government who killed Diana, or no news about that?
Yeah, there's obviously always been a lot of conspiracy theories and things about it after her death. Um, yeah, but personally, I'm not someone who I try not to believe a lot of conspiracy theories
I
and
think
thinking
it's
governments are
still
behind stuff.
simple.
But yeah, I'm not too sure. Obviously, it's hard to know these things for certain. But all I do know is she was a fantastic person who did so much for people, not just in England, but people around the world.
She is
She did
still an
so
icon.
much charity work, and thankfully, that's her kind of legacy and the goods she's done in the world is kind of continued with her children. So
Mhm.
yeah, very sad. But she had a positive impact on people.
She is an icon.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No, it's she's very loved in England. Not everybody likes the royal family. It's obviously a very outdated kind of
I,
thing, and they don't do that much these days. Obviously, they've had real power for centuries. It's more of just a tradition thing, but at least she used her platform for the right reasons.
Thank you.
thank you so much, Ibrahim. So, guys, please, someone is trying to open the mic. Nisreen, Jawahir. Yeah, good evening. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Nisreen, I'm pretty good. Thank you for asking.
Okay. I have a question.
Yeah,
They
okay.
can answer or not. I understand they live in America.
Yes.
Is there a lot of freedom in America as they pretend, or it is a fake freedom and the freedom is only about to change the gender or to marry whoever they want or to stay up all the night? You feel this freedom or this liberty, they can or you can express your opinions, or you feel with fear when you express your opinion? Thank you.
Yeah, do you want to answer or shall I?
You can go.
You have complete freedom of expression. I find it a bit funny in America because, as you said, America says freedom all the time. But that's the case in a lot of parts of the world. Exactly the same as in England. But yeah, there's complete freedom of expression, without any without any persecution for whatever people believe in, be it political views, religious views, anything like that. Yes, you're free to you're free to say as you choose.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think there's definitely like freedom. Like you have a right. Like you have a right to express your opinions, and you have a right, like there is no repercussions about just like if you disagree with like a political figure, you are allowed to disagree with like
Khalid, are you okay? Khalid, please, Khalid, we cannot hear clearly. Khalid, I think we cannot hear you clearly. Please fix your problem, fix your mic if you have any problem with the mic, and you can start over. Thank you so much, Khalid.
I think one caveat that I will say to what we've been saying is like freedom, like hate speech is not allowed, obviously. Like you're not, like you are allowed to have freedom of opinion, but once it becomes speech that's like inciting violence and like discrimination against a certain group of people, that's not allowed. So for example, like I'm allowed to be like, Donald Trump sucks, I hate him, like he is an idiot, but I'm also never allowed to be like, I want to go kill Donald Trump. Like that, those two things are very different. Like hate speech is very different than like freedom of opinion.
Funny example you gave there, but I would add that's a slight difference there between England and America. America has they really focus on the freedom of speech and the right to say anything, which it's the same in England, but it's, I would say, a bit more and a little bit more reasonable in England. Similar to what Ferial was just saying, like, yes, you have complete freedom of speech. You can complain about the government, politicians, royal family, whatever, and it's completely
I think you
fine.
must complain also about medical شو بيقولوا لها المصاريف الطبية. It's
Free
so
treatment.
expensive in America.
Not free.
Yes. Healthcare here is painfully expensive. And
even
you can see why it's the number one reason for bankruptcy in America is healthcare expenses. In England, we have the NHS, the National Health Service, which is completely free healthcare for everybody.
Also
Even if you have insurance, you pay so much.
In America, yes.
Even
yes.
the American people,
yeah,
even the American
even for American people
are suffering from.
Yes, it's a big problem in America.
Also for children. It's expensive.
Yes.
There's different government programs for children living in poverty. So it's very so it will be like a case by case. But if let's say you're a child that comes from like a middle class family where your parents are not, you know, within poverty levels, that is very, very expensive.
So we have a common case between us as a Lebanon and USA.
Expensive healthcare.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, I think the difference here is that worst case scenario, if you cannot pay for your healthcare, like the government is obliged to step in and pay for you. If you can prove that you're unable to afford it, like there's like here hospitals are not allowed, like by law, they're not allowed to turn you away because you cannot pay. They have to give you the service. I think that's the only difference is that, you know, there's a government here and laws versus Lebanon there is.
So guys, if you have something to say, absolutely you can. Please.
What's your major, Ferial?
My undergrad, like my bachelor's degree was in economics and peace and conflict studies, and then my master's was in quantitative econometrics. So that's what I've done. And then James is also master's and undergrad is economics as well. So we have 4 economics degrees here.
So guys, again, any question you have, absolutely you can ask. Please do not hesitate. So I think, yeah, Jabbour, I noticed that you want to say something. Because you are keeping muting yourself and unmuting most of the time. Okay.
Can I ask a question after
Really?
my question?
Of course, of course.
Not a political.
No, not political. I don't mean that انه يكون
غير المشاغبة غير المشاغبة تفضل.
just because Palestine يعني أو Gaza it that trend يعني now. That's why I asked this question, and I tell you you are free to answer or no. It's not necessary to answer. But I'm sorry if you feel awkward or something. I don't mean that, but I like to ask someone from West after all the things that it happened. So my question, do you visit Lebanon? Your husband?
Yes. We were in Lebanon in July. Yeah, we've just been. And yeah, I've been multiple times. Both with Ferial, and I went once actually before we met, just with a friend.
If I gonna ask you, describe Lebanon in some words, what do you want to say?
Oh, let's hope I get this right. It's just a very beautiful country with, you have, for a relatively small country as well, you have such a wide mix. You have everything. You have the beaches, you have the mountains, you have the different ecosystems. And then from like a cultural and historical perspective, it's one of the birthplaces of civilization. So that's more than just a few words, but I want to make sure I got it right. Right, it's just a very fascinating country. Doesn't a lot of people have not necessarily the wrong impression of Lebanon in the West. they're just not that informed. When you say to Middle East to people, they think everywhere is deserts and camels, which is
Why,
nothing.
James?
Which is
Can I
absolutely
ask you
nothing
this
like
question?
Lebanon.
Why we have that negative impression for the West?
I think I don't know. Ferial's probably better to answer this. People just aren't as familiar with all the different countries. They just kind of paint it with one brush and just aren't well informed.
James, have you let's imagine that you don't know Ferial this time. Have you that idea that in the past, I mean, that the Arab people are living in the Stone Age and they are traveling with camels and something like that?
No, but I'm not an idiot, and I've also left.
You are not.
I'm also European. I think Europeans are better than Americans at knowing the wider world. My parents took me to a number of Middle Eastern and North African countries when I was young, so I was lucky enough to
Thank you, God.
see interesting parts of the world. Not everybody has those views. It's just some people, especially in America, where America is a very big country and America likes to focus on itself quite a lot. I would say compared to a lot of European countries, which are smaller and are next door to one another. So you generally have a slightly better idea of other countries and cultures and your neighbors. But yeah, that's kind of it.
Yeah. So
do you have a question to us? Questions?
Do you have any questions?
You have a question for us.
James, why you choose the Lebanese woman? Is this any difference between Lebanese woman and British woman?
That's
good.
That's
question, Aisha.
that question's far too easy.
So, should answer.
He falls in love.
They feed him a lot of good food. That's why.
That is true, but also the most beautiful women in the world.
A question.
Yeah.
Ferial. Are you married or not yet?
Not yet. We got engaged just on our way to Lebanon in July. So we've been together for 4 years now, and we got engaged.
You will get married in Lebanon?
TBD. We're not too sure where we'll get married. We'll probably get married somewhere in Europe, somewhere in the middle. That's kind of in between both of our families.
A religion marriage or civil marriage?
I think in the US, like they don't because we want the civil papers to be able to help with visas and stuff. So we need a civil marriage to be able for me to get the British passport.
You are beautiful, both. You are tous les deux.
Thank you.
Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, so much.
Okay, Mom.
If you come to Lebanon, invite us to your marriage.
You'll have to have a wedding with everyone here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. So please, Khalid, I noticed that you are trying to say something. Are you okay?
Hi guys, how are you?
Yes, good evening.
So I'm sorry, but I have finished the work
I
is now.
noticed that you are muting and unmuting yourself most of the time.
I'm listening, but I don't speak in working, but so
So have you finished now?
okay, so
God bless you, by the way, Khalid.
Okay.
Yes. So you can speak up. We are all listening ears, Khalid.
No, you you
wonder,
listen.
I
Yes.
wonder if you can ask Ferial and James something. If you have a question, absolutely. You can ask this question, Khalid. What about the others?
In which state do you live, Ferial?
We live in Massachusetts,
Mhm.
which is very difficult to pronounce.
Yes.
It is a quiz.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Where are you from, Lisa or Ferial?
I'm from Beirut originally, Beirut, Lebanon.
Okay, it's nice to meet you. Could you I speak about your country, so culture and listening student for exam.
Sorry, I'm not sure I quite understand the question.
Your culture in your country.
Yeah, I guess like depends if we're talking about the US or Lebanon. I think obviously, I mean, Lebanon, you all know what the culture is like. I think in the US it's I mean, there's like a big like I think the US it's quite individualistic more so than like Lebanon, where like it's very focused on like individual growth and like for each person to like achieve their biggest potential. So I think that's like the biggest kind of cultural element here that stands out to me is that, you know, there's like a big emphasis on like achievement and like constantly like doing things that, you know, just make you achieve more.
Oh, okay. I sorry, I have a question. Why quickly speaking in American the fast or quickly? I don't know. So speaking. So, for example, as yesterday in South Africa and manager, but I'm gonna we search in the internet. I'm gonna. So I'm going to say example. I'm gonna. Like, I am going to.
Language you mean, Khalid? What do you think? Yes, sir.
Like I'm going to is the correct English. I'm gonna is slang, like I would say.
Yeah.
Like gonna is not an actual word, but like in talking, like I'll just be like, I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna is like this, like the slang, like colloquial way to say I'm going to.
That's it. Okay.
Try to avoid that, Khalid. Try to learn the formal language, please.
Yeah, I think it's definitely better to learn the formal language.
Yeah, because in the international exams, Khalid, you need the formal one.
يعني الفكرة إنه عم بحتك فيهم هون فكتير سرعة الحكي.
I know because you are using the internet, you are interacting with them all the day. But try to avoid this language because, as I told you, in certain places you need the formal language because in all the international exams, for example, the IELTS, the TOEFL exam, you need the formal language, not this language.
Yeah.
Yeah. So please, Khalid. Guys, we are running out of time. I think we still have 10 minutes for the second part of meeting to be end. So again, please, if you have anything to say, Ferial is here just to ask all your questions. Please speak up if you have anything to say?
Ferial,
Ibrahim.
how can we quit the fear when we are speaking English?
Good
What about
question,
your
Ibrahim.
experience?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think just don't be. I think my like one word of advice was like, obviously when I was like also learning to speak English, there was like that big kind of hesitation because like you don't want to say something wrong, like you don't want to
Yes,
sound like you don't want to embarrass yourself, you don't
yes,
want to say.
and you have to think about the words that you need
Yeah.
to use.
No, of course, it's not easy. I would say like it's just like keep practicing and also don't overthink it. Like ultimately, you know, as long as you're getting the point across and people can understand you and like you're able to put, you know, words down on paper, like that's the most
Even you
important.
make a mistake, it's not it's not a problem.
And it's not the end of the world, no. I mean, I think like keep in mind as well that we all speak a second language. Like we all have our native language and we're
Yes,
learning a new language. And I think especially as adults, like when you're not a child, it's very, very difficult to learn a new language. So if anything, like you should be incredibly proud that like you're trying to learn a new language and it's not easy, and just acknowledge that it's not easy and all you can do is keep practicing.
and you have
And
to
don't be afraid
practice
to make mistakes.
daily. But here in Lebanon, we cannot because the surroundings
Yeah.
are
I would say
not.
like maybe like if you read books in English, you watch, you know, American or like British TV shows and
Yes,
movies and
yes, I've
listen to
tried
like,
many
you know,
times. Yes,
yeah, I think that's like a
with
really good way.
subtitles or without subtitles.
I would
You,
say maybe start with subtitles and then when like maybe try doing without subtitles, like experiment, see what works for you, like, you know.
I didn't understand you. Do you
Yeah,
prefer?
I'm saying like if you can experiment, like so I personally still watch stuff with subtitles because I just find it, you know, more natural. But I mean I would say start with subtitles and if you feel like okay, I'm getting really, really comfortable, like
English subtitles or Arabic subtitles?
I would say do English subtitles.
English, yes.
Because if you have Arabic subtitles, you're just going to read.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mm.
of course.
They're definitely English subtitles. Like try that. You don't have to understand everything, but like if you can understand most things, then that's a good step in the right direction.
The main idea, maybe you mean.
Yeah,
Mhm. Thank you so much.
of course.
So again, guys, we still have only 5 minutes. Please, if you have something to say, it is your
Ferial, you can read in Arabic?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, of course.
Mm, very good.
Yeah.
Is
So I have a question.
Khalid.
You will learn your children
What
after.
what give me advice you're learning English?
What advice would I give to learn English?
Yes, advice. Give me advice about learn English so quickly speaking. Pitch and American is no problem. So you for مثلا listening in YouTube or grammar or listening to, so that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean everything that you said, and just as we were saying, like watching movies and TV shows and listening to like American music. I would also, I mean, definitely like also like reading books. Like I think reading is an incredibly effective way to be able to learn the language. But as we were saying, like watching movies with like subtitles on with the English subtitles is very helpful.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Jabor, I think you have something to say.
Leonardo, can I ask you a question?
Ibrahim, yes.
Yes, you will be the admin of the course or all the sessions?
Yeah, because
yes, because it's my first time to join your.
This is Ibrahim.
yeah.
This is not a class. This is an open conversation with native speakers, just to
Yes.
practice. Yeah, to practice the English,
Yes,
just to hear.
all the time.
Yes.
not only this session.
Yes, I will. Brahim.
Mhm. And how can I choose the topic, or you put the topics?
I think I asked Aisha just to prepare a certain topic, but I noticed that this conversation is an open one, so you're free to ask anything you want, Ibrahim.
Mhm.
But
The
I
open one.
but I prefer the
ما
next time, Ibrahim, the next time I'm going to select a certain topic, a general one, and we have to discuss it.
I
I
prefer.
think it's better just to say this. Yeah, I
Yes.
know. Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ibrahim.
Hello.
Yeah, Jawahir.
She tell Brahim to watch movie more to speak English. That's enough to speak English more.
You ask me or Ferial?
Ferial.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely like watching movies is incredibly helpful to learn because like you're listening to the language and how it's like being spoken, but you also have the visual to help you.
But Ferial,
Do you
sometimes
have another thing or not? Only movies.
I mean, movies, books, TV shows, music, and also like if I'm sure there's a lot of apps like Duolingo, for example, is like a language speaking app, and there's apps that you can download on your phone to like help you practice.
Ferial, sometimes we find listening to the movies is very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And in another movies, we find it okay.
Yeah,
easier.
It depends on the type of the movies or the nationalities of the movies.
Yeah.
Or something else.
No, definitely nationalities and the accents. Like if the accent in the movie is like Scottish, I find that really difficult to understand. Like I don't understand. Like even for someone who like speaks English pretty well, like there are some accents that I really struggle to understand. But I think definitely like that's very normal. Say just like try different kinds to understand, like for you to figure out which ones you understand and which ones you don't.
Can we define on the Netflix? Can we put a key when we want to watch a movie in this issue?
I don't think so, but I think you can, I think like American movies are maybe easier to understand. So maybe if it's like a British movie, you try to, like maybe you start with American movies because those are generally easier. And then you move to like more British or Australian or, you know, like Scottish or whatever, or Irish because those are more difficult to understand.
Okay, guys, so I think this is it because we still have only 1 minute for this meeting to be finished. I think it's enough, Dr. Aisha, isn't it?
Sorry?
I know, I'm asking Dr. Aisha is not here. Okay. Guys, I think it's enough because we are here for 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Leonardo, one
Thank you
question.
very much. Huh?
Thank you.
Yeah, guys.
Thank you. Nice meeting to everyone.
Sorry, you
Yeah.
can give us the name of the apps?
I can send like what I can think of in the chat.
She said the Duolingo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've used that app. I don't know if you got it.
Yeah, Duolingo is a really great application.
I've used that to learn, like to improve my French, and it's helpful.
Do we have to prepare for the topic, Leonardo, the next topic, or
No, don't do anything. Don't prepare anything. This is not practicing, Ibrahim. Again, guys, I need you just to use the English and to listen to the people who are talking this language. This is the main goal, okay? So do not prepare anything. As I told you, I'm going to prepare a topic. I don't know if